Hello everybody, my name is Kiera, aka Kiera's Bookshelf, and welcome to my channel. So for this week's video, I decided that I wanted to kind of keep the murder mystery theme going, and so I decided that I wanted to read Five Survive by Hallie Jackson. So I'm actually really excited to read this one just because I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the entire series, and it was so fun. But this time around, this will be my first time reading this book, and I think it'll be kind of exciting to see like what Hallie Jackson's work is like when it's not related to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I definitely want to see if I still like her writing style, and I'm not sure if any mixed media will be in this one, but I definitely feel like because I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder that I really might like this book, and I'm just so excited for it. So the tagline for this book says 8 hours, 6 friends, 5 survive, and I'm really excited for it because I believe it's about a group of friends who go camping. Like, I think there was some mention of an RV in here, and I think that's so exciting because I don't know if this will take place in one location or not. If it does, I think that will definitely be different than like what I'm used to reading, so I am just so excited to jump right into this. If you have read Five Survive or any Hallie Jackson books, I really would like to know what you think about it, and if you are new to Hallie Jackson's books like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and things like that, then definitely let me know too. I love talking about it in the comments and stuff, and without further ado, let's just get on with this reading vlog. Okay guys, so I am here to give my very first update for this book because I have officially reached chapter 13, and so much has happened already in these like 100 pages, and honestly, like, I am loving every single minute of this story. I feel like this might actually be better than A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I don't know. So basically, we meet main characters Red, Maddie, Simon, Raina, and Oliver. Simon, I'm really not liking so far, to be honest. He's kind of like a joker, and he's like super sarcastic, and it's just like, I feel like it's like really not needed, but whatever, he's there. And this actually takes place in Philadelphia. The ages of these characters aren't really talked about, but they're going on a road trip, so I'm assuming they're like maybe in high school or college. That's kind of like the vibe I was getting. So the main character, who is pretty much the narrator in this, is named Red, and she has already shown that she's very awkward, like socially. I think she has like social anxiety or something, so I'm not really sure like what that's about. The group is pretty much on their way to South Carolina for spring break. I believe they talked about like meeting their other classmates there. And actually, I think something that's interesting is they are going to like this trip via like an RV, but it was implied that the rest of their classmates are going on a plane, and actually one of the characters, Raina, who was driving, ended up getting lost. A lot of the characters ended up like blaming her for it, and they said like, oh, like I knew we should have just took this plane instead of like going on this RV, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And going back to what I just mentioned about them getting lost, that is actually where the plot officially starts. So they're driving around and they like miss their turn. Eventually they end up like in this area where they lose signal, and for some reason they don't have like a paper map. I don't know. Everybody is just using their phones, and once they lose signal, it kind of just goes downhill from there. So they get lost, and the driver at the time, Raina, accidentally like drives over something. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was like one tire blew out, and then everyone came out of the RV, and apparently they had like a spare tire in there, so everything was saved. It was fine. They put everything together, and when they went to go back in the RV, someone started shooting at it. And it was actually really, really scary because this person seemed to be like a really, really good shot. The person like shot every single tire, so now they can't move, they don't have signal, and this person actually ended up shooting like at the RV as a whole. I don't know, I'm kind of loving how fast-paced this story is. I feel like I haven't felt this way about a book since like I read We Were Liars, and so I am just really having fun with it, and I'm so excited to just kind of keep going and just see, you know, where the story takes me. I'm really not sure like what to expect. I mean, I know the tagline kind of spoils that someone is going to die, but like at this point in the story, I'm really not sure who it is. Nobody really seems like super gullible at this moment, and I don't know. I think I kind of like that everything is kind of like still up in the air. Like you just don't know who it's going to be. It could be somebody that I end up really, really liking or somebody that I hate, and so I am just so excited to keep going and just see where the story takes me. Hi, hello. So it is the next day, and I just realized that I forgot to give you guys like an update because I have just reached chapter 25, and it is also currently 2 a.m. in the story right now. And I mean, just like last time, a lot has happened, and I feel like things are getting like more and more intense. So I think the first thing that I forgot to include in my last update is that this like mystery like shooter knows everyone's first and last names, which is really scary. Like in one of the chapters, he literally like just said all of their names like in a line or whatever, and like pretty much just let them know that he knew exactly who they were and that they were stuck there on purpose. And I feel like it was really, really like, I guess like eerie in a way, like kind of creepy, like to just know that like all of this was kind of like like I don't know if this was a setup or like a perfect coincidence in a way, but like it was kind of like they were all at the wrong place at the right time for him, which was pretty scary. So there's currently no cell service thanks to this mystery guy, but he did end up like getting them like a walkie-talkie. I feel like he might have like snuck into the RV and they didn't know at some point, like when they were outside, which is really, really weird. But I kind of like that. Like, I feel like I wish they would have questioned it a little more, because it was obvious that the walkie-talkie wasn't there before, but that's just something I noticed that was just like a pet peeve. Like, I don't know if anybody else who read the story would be bothered by that, but like that's just one thing for me. But I actually really, really like that two of the characters who are siblings, Raina and Oliver, think that this mystery shooter has to do with like some case that their mom worked on, and it has to do with like the mafia. I feel like that's kind of a random storyline, but I guess it could work. But I feel like it just kind of sucks because like if this guy is only after two of the siblings, then like the rest of the people in the RV are kind of just like out of luck, and I think that's kind of sad because like that's just not fair, like because they're all friends, and I don't know, like I feel like that would cause so much tension. I'm surprised that there's not a lot like between the group, like they haven't really been arguing about it or anything, but like hopefully that happens later because I think that would be pretty like realistic to the story. So I want to point out that they did something really, really dangerous. So they were trying to figure out like where this guy was outside. So one of the characters started like honking the horn, and then they covered up the windows except for like a tiny little sliver, and everybody like got their phones out and started recording to see like where the shots were coming from. And then it turns out there were 2 different locations because there's 2 people trying to kill them now. I don't know who like this other like mystery shooter is that wasn't like disclosed yet, but like I feel like that was so dangerous. Like nothing happened to the girl who was like honking the horn, thank goodness, but like I feel like it got really, really close to getting really bad. Speaking of them being in the middle of nowhere, they did end up stumbling upon like 2 like older people, and I'm kind of mad that like the situation played out the way that it did, because the guy on the walkie-talkie immediately tells them to send the 2 people away, and that if they try to get help, like they will harm them. And they were kind of like really taking their time. Like one of the guys like left the RV and tried to like stall them and stuff. I feel like he was underestimating like the mystery shooters, even though like they shot their tires out, shot the RV in general. Like it's very clear they don't care about harming people. They really took a risk with that, and then they ended up like actually getting those innocent people like killed, and I was really surprised by that. I genuinely like, I don't know what I was expecting, but it really wasn't that. So I do like that. It was good shock value, I guess. But like overall, I was just really, really upset at one of the guys who was out there like doing the talking to them. I will definitely end this by saying that one of the shooters does say, one of you has a secret, give it to me and I'll let the others live. So I feel like things are going to start escalating now between the friends. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they started like arguing and like separating themselves in a way. And I don't know if the shooter means to do it that way, like to just kind of like break them up and maybe cause more people to go outside or something. But I definitely feel like this is the time where they should all be working together. But I just have a feeling that's just not going to go that way. And I'm really excited to just like keep reading and see where the story goes. So if you are interested in just seeing where the story goes, then please stay tuned because I'm having so much fun with this book. Okay, so I am officially on chapter 32 of this book, and I feel like I have reached a point in the story I'm like the most engaged in it, and I definitely feel like this huge chunk of the story that I've read has been my favorite so far, just because there has been so much like going on as far as like plot points and stuff. Everybody was turning on each other, and then we started to get kind of like a backstory of kind of like each character and why they could be there. And it actually turns out that the main character, Red, is the reason they are all in a situation in the first place, which I think it's awful. So at first, the book talks about these 2 characters, Oliver and Raina, which I didn't realize that they were a couple, but I guess they are. At first, they think they are the reason they are in the RV just because one night they were at a bar and I guess Raina was leaving and some random guy like tried to like assault her. Oliver like jumped in and beat the guy up, and it was pretty bad. And it turns out that Raina knew this guy this whole time, but she lied and told Oliver that this was like a random guy that was harassing her. So Oliver beat the guy up to the point where he ended up passing away. What confuses me is like, I don't know why Raina would wait to tell Oliver that she cheated on him. And even Oliver said that he was like you literally could have told me at another time. It was awful. I personally feel like I don't like Oliver at all. But now, like, I don't think I like Raina that much either, because she wasn't really, like, sad about the fact that, he was finding out. Like, she kind of was implying that she cared about this other guy more and that she planned on breaking up with Oliver. But then when the guy passed away, like, she literally was like, oh, but, you know, I just decided to stay with you. It was awful. I don't understand, like, why she did that. So that happened. So the reason that, like, everything is happening is just because Red was literally at the wrong place at the wrong time. She ended up, like, witnessing a crime that was happening, like, right in front of her, and that ended up, like, just putting her in a lot of danger. She ended up, like, testifying against this guy that I guess, like, was in the mafia, and she remained anonymous. Her identity was discovered, but she doesn't know why. And I feel like at this point it doesn't really matter, like, why or how her identity was discovered. I just feel like, you know, it's just crazy that they're, like, going through this when it's supposed to be, like, their spring break. That's so scary. And now everybody wants to pretty much, like, vote to make the decision of whether or not Red needs to leave the RV. They're kind of just like, you know, they don't want to die, but, like, we can sacrifice you since everything is about you, which is pretty messed up, but I do get it. So I feel like I'm at, like, a really, really good point in the story right now, and I am really, really excited to see, like, how this ends. I think the next time I update will be, like, at the end of the book. Everything is just escalating in the best way possible. I definitely love the pacing of this book, which is good. I was a little worried about that just because this is, like, I think Holly Jackson's first standalone, so I wasn't sure how she was going to do with this, but this is really amazing, and I definitely will recommend this to literally anyone who is interested in, like, the murder mystery genre. Definitely check this book out. Hello everybody, so I am back to give you guys my final, like, update, I guess, on this book because I just finished it, and I actually have a lot of thoughts regarding pretty much everything that happened. So upon, like, reading this book, I kind of feel like I was starting to get whiplash a little bit. I'm not really sure if I like this book or not, honestly. Maybe it's just because I need to process everything that I read, but I just feel like it could have ended so many different ways and it could have been so much better, and I guess, like, I was feeling a little bit underwhelmed. So it turns out Arthur was a mole the entire time for the snipers outside. Apparently he, like, snuck something into the walkie-talkie and they were able to just hear everything that was going on, like, in the van. I like that Arthur was the son of the mafia guy. I thought that was cool, and the snipers actually ended up working for him. Everything just kind of happened really fast, and I feel like the police found them really, really easy after all of that drama. Like, I just feel like it just should have been written a different way, I guess, and I just felt, like, really underwhelmed. It turns out Red lied about being the witness to the crime the whole time just to, like, protect the mom of, like, the siblings that were also in the van. I'm not really sure why that was a thing. She mentioned that she, like, paid her to do it, but I just don't get why their mom would act like a college student to take the rap for her. I just feel like it just didn't make sense, I guess, and so it was kind of disappointing because I was really, really loving how the story was going so far. So I definitely would still recommend this book. I feel like maybe this would be, like, a good introduction to, like, true crime a little bit, or, like, murder mystery maybe. I don't recommend Five Survive to be, like, the first book that you read of Holly Jackson's. I definitely think her Good Girls Guide to Murder series is the perfect starting point, but I don't know, I feel like this book, like, you can kind of skip it if you're, like, interested in that genre. Overall, I am really, really happy that I read this book because it's been on my TBR for a really, really long time, and I am just happy to have been able to say that I've read it and I can just cross it off of my list because I have maybe, like, 97 books or something on my TBR that I need to get to. It's always an accomplishment for me to finish a book regardless if I like it or not, so I'm definitely ending this on a positive note. Thank you guys for for watching this reading vlog. Please be on the lookout for more because I have so much planned for this channel, and I am actually going to be starting a new reading vlog today after I film and edit this, and it's going to be really exciting. So thank you guys for watching. This has been Kiara's Bookshelf, and I will see you next time. Bye!